You're watching CN2 News, your South Carolina hometown news.
Welcome to CN2 News as we celebrate Carowinds' 50th anniversary. That's 50 years of providing family entertainment in not one, but two states. The only theme park in the country that has a state line running right through it, dividing the fun between North and South Carolina. A guy who loves Carowinds is our own Lucas McFadden, and he joins us from the park.
Well, Carowinds is a very special place. Like many of you, I've grown up right here at the theme park. In fact, I got my first season pass when I was tall enough to ride the iconic roller coaster Thunder Road. We're going to actually revisit that roller coaster a little later in the show. Well, Carowinds opened on March the 31st, 1973, and welcomed 6,000 guests. Well, times have certainly changed, and Carowinds has changed. Rides have come and gone, but there are still in operational today 4 original rides. Steve Jackson is the Director of Maintenance and Construction here at Carowinds. Steve, we've interviewed each other. I've interviewed you for a long time. I remember when you had hair on top of your head.
It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah.
Right. Well, 4 rides are still in operational from when the park opened back in 1973. What are those 4 rides, and how unique is it that they're still operating today?
Oh, it's pretty unique. They're 50 years old, but we've got the Gold Rusher, which is right behind us. We've got the Scrambler, we've got the Sky Tower, and we've got Snoopy's Junction. Those are the 4 rides we have left.
So what was it about these rides that they've been able to hang around for 50 years?
Well, like the Gold Rusher, it was the very first roller coaster we ever put in, and it's still a great family ride. We maintain it well. The Scrambler's everyone loves the Scrambler, right? So, and it can go anywhere. So it's actually still in the original spot it was in. The Sky Tower, that was the architectural high point of the park when it was built. From an architectural standpoint, you always want to, it's like a tent, but that's the top, that's the top of the tent. And it's still here and it's still running. It's not quite in the center of the park anymore, but it's still around, still a fan favorite. And then you've got the classic railroad, and it's changed. We've reconfigured it 3 times so far. So, but people still love it, and that's why it's still around, because you can move it around, and as things change, you always want to fill it back in and keep it around.
So with the Gold Rusher that's here behind us, there's something unique that's going on because of the 50th anniversary here at the park.
It is. We painted one of the trains gold this year to celebrate our 50th anniversary. We've never had a gold train before, and we were trying to figure out what to do for the 50th, and some guys in the paint shop said, "Hey, can we paint the train gold?" I said, I don't know, but it's like, here, let us do one car. And we looked at it, and man, out in the sunlight, it just glowed. It's like, oh, we got to do this. So we have a gold train for the 50th anniversary on the Gold Rusher. The Gold Rusher, that's really one of the first roller coasters that mom, dad can ride with the kids, or grandma and granddad can still ride it, because it's kind of tame, it's kind of fun. It's top speed is 30 miles an hour. It's got 2 lifts. It's really cool. It's really fun, and it's got that classic Gold Rusher mine train look to it. So.
And then, of course, the Sky Tower is also a nice place to escape when the summers are hot here in the Carolinas. But it also gives you the history of the park.
It does, because it's air conditioned for one thing, so you can get it and cool off a little bit. But when you go up, it rotates nice and slow, and you can look at everything that's happened, everything that's here, and you can go, hey, I remember when Thunder Road was over there, and now look at it, it's part of the water park.
And the Scrambler is the classic spin attraction that you can find in a lot of amusement parks still today, and especially at like county fairs. But it's had staying power.
Oh, it has. It's actually a classic. It's still manufactured today. You can still buy a new one today. Eli Bridge is the manufacturer, and of course the guy who built it used to be an aircraft mechanic. That's why it's all made out of aluminum, aircraft aluminum and rivets. Yeah. That's what he did, and his family's continued the tradition. You can buy new tubs for it and parts and pieces, and it's still around. And they used to make a lot of Ferris wheels too, so the company's still around, and it's a great ride. It really is.
Well, the fact they're still building them is good to know. So with the space I have in my backyard, I'll just buy one. Is that good?
You can do that.
Okay.
And I know some people who can help you put it together and fix it.
All right. I like that. And, of course, you mentioned the classic train attraction that you mentioned has moved around multiple times. But, with all the high-speed thrills here, sometimes it's nice just to sit and take a leisurely stroll around the park.
Oh, it is. And that's exactly what that train does. You can carry your baby on it. You can carry your grandmother, your granddad, your great-granddad. Whoever you want can ride the train. you know, and it's very peaceful, it's very serene, but there's a lot to look at when you're on the train.
Steve, did you bring your bathing suit? Did you get that memo?
Oh, I didn't get that memo,
Okay.
but I know where I can get a
All
real
right.
bathing suit if I absolutely have to have one.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about the history of the water park here at Carowinds, as we will, of course, join you a little later in the newscast. Now back to you, Laura Bree.
Certainly sounds like they're going to have some fun out there at the water park. Well, during the 2023 operating season, Carowinds is using the slogan, 50 years of Carolina fun. Throughout the show, we are showing you the fun we have had at Carowinds, taking you down memory lane through the many stories we've covered there over the years, so stay with us. Welcome back to our 50th anniversary coverage of Carowinds. We are taking a look back at the rides and the people that have helped put Carowinds on the map. Jerry Helms was the Vice President of Operations for 48 years before he turned in his badge back in 2021. This Carowinds legend gave our CN2 cameras one last tour of the park.
On March 31st, 1973, the magic date that Carowinds came to life.
A lot has changed at Carowinds since it first opened, but for 48 years, Jerry Helms has been a familiar face at the theme park.
This hasn't been a job, it has been a journey.
A journey that began for Jerry in 1973.
As soon as I got home from college, jumped in the car, drove out here. Of course, you know, sometimes I amaze myself with my own stupidity. I missed the employee entrance and ended up about row 19 in the parking lot.
In the parking lot is where Jerry's career started when he stumbled upon E. Pat Hall, the founder of Carowinds.
This white-haired gentleman comes driving up to me, and I'm like, and I roll down the window, and he looks at me and says, "What are you doing here, son?" And I think I babbled I was a college kid and really wanted to work for Carowinds, and he said, "Just follow me." The founder of Carowinds found a lonely little waif in the middle of the parking lot and rescued me, and I owe him all my life for that, I guess.
What started out as a seasonal job as a security officer led to bigger roles at the park over the years, with his current job as VP of Operations. While Jerry has walked every inch of this park, it's this spot right here where he really fell in love.
We're in Country Crossroads, and this was pretty much where I was standing in both 1973 and when I came back in 1974, and Miss Irene both times came walking through with her balloons. And this would be one of her stopping points, and I would make a round, and I'd come and say hello, and then I'd go, and so it brings back a lot of fun memories.
Miss Irene, as Jerry calls her, would end up being his wife.
She was a city girl from Charlotte. Her dad was an engineer. I'm the son of a brick mason, a country kid.
2 kids later, both boys, and the happy couple recently celebrated their 45th wedding anniversary.
I tell everybody I have 2 families. I have my family at home, and I have my Carowinds family.
Creating a family atmosphere is what Carowinds is all about.
Y'all know Jerry?
Yes, it is. I've known Jerry for many years now.
Oh my gosh.
And they still talk to me, so yeah.
I wish I had more time to stop and talk to you.
Well, you know, guys, it's just starting to wind down, but every minute I get with you is precious, and you know how much you mean to me. And you guys don't have the ladybugs, do you?
No, we don't.
Well, you will by the end of the day. I promise you. I'm trying to make sure everybody. Well, I appreciate it. Well, y'all mean a lot to me too. So, and y'all are the best.
Oh, Jerry, what is the deal with the ladybug? I was going to ask you, what's the deal with that?
It's the Jerry Award, isn't it, guys?
Oh, is it really?
It's a symbol of good luck, but it's a symbol of teamwork. So I give so many out every year.
Every year, Jerry gets to meet young employees from all walks of life, helping to shape their careers. Proving Carowinds is where the Carolinas come together.
The kids from Charlotte finally got to meet and know the kids from Rock Hill, who got to meet and know the kids from Clover and York and Gastonia and Mount Holly and so forth and so on. And it was just one big happy family, and it's still that way. You know, everybody belongs. I wanted the kids to understand that Carowinds happened because of the dynamic area where we exist in, but that we were an important part of helping make it happen. And I try to become their best friend because I know if I do that, then they've got somebody that cares.
That love that Jerry shows for his employees is also evident with how much he cares about the community, especially his hometown of York County. During his time at Carowinds, he got involved with the York County Regional Chamber of Commerce and helped to advocate for many of its programs, one of the biggest being the first round of road funding for Pennies for Progress.
And without Carowinds' involvement, we probably, as you know, we only won by a couple of hundred votes.
One vote that took place inside the park helped to change one popular attraction.
Let people walk under the roller coasters, and we go, well, we've never done that. Well, this was the first one we did. And it just, and think about it, how much fun it is, you know, everything's protected, but you get to experience it.
That's the Carolina Cyclone, built in the 1980s.
Looping two-quarter. You see loop, loop, and then you come, and then, you know, I call it the Elvis Presley moment. By there, they're all shook up.
When you spend time with Jerry, he will tell you a story about every ride at the park.
The roller coaster was supposed to go straight out and come back in all over the parking lot, but our maintenance director, Jamie Gaffney, said, no, let's take it and turn it and run it down this parking lot. It'll be more efficient, but it'll make it unique. And so that's why it's the wonderful ride it is, because you do the turn, and that was our idea. I think the biggest mistake I've made in the last decade was I rode the Intimidator twice back to back, and then I had to sit on a bench for a few minutes and let my stomach catch up with the rest of my body and my equilibrium come back out of the sky. But it was fun.
Years of fun, plenty of memories. Jerry Helm says he's just happy to be along for the ride.
You know, this is their moment to get away. And one of the things I wish people could understand is how hard we work to make sure that their visit, that they're able to have some fun, and hopefully we, by the way we treat them, the way we service them, laugh with them, that we help them create memories that last a lifetime.
Saying goodbye is never easy. That is true when it comes to one iconic ride at Carowinds, Thunder Road. Even though the roller coaster is no longer standing, it is still a crowd favorite to this day. Back in 2015, after 39 years and more than 40 million rides, CN2's Lucas McFadden was there as the final trains left the station.
As the sun sets on the twin parallel racing wooden roller coaster Thunder Road, so do the memories. Every piece of wood, every rider, every sound made Thunder Road more than just another roller coaster. Jones family, the last people to ride Thunder Road on the South Carolina side. Tell me what that experience was like.
Awesome!
Yeah.
This is his very first roller coaster ride when he was little, and it was with me, so this was his last ride on it, so same thing.
I think it's fun. It's fun for the kids, it's fun for us, you know. I rode it when I was 14, 15 years old, so he's 16 last time. It's a fun experience.
It stood for 39 years. Why did people keep coming back over and over again? What was it about it?
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Just a classic.
Yeah.
Just a really good ride.
Yeah, just good ride, just simple but yet fast and thrilling.
Yeah.
Apple pie is good no matter when it was made, right?
People trying to keep the memories of the coaster alive, snapping one last picture and buying actual wood from Thunder Road.
My Carowinds ride Thunder Road, we love you.
Gia Lockhart bringing her 3 girls out for one last thrill.
Thunder Road roller coaster is like the first roller coaster the kids get on. It's not going to sink in until I come back next week and we can't come in.
Tell me about riding Thunder Road for the last time.
It was sad.
Yeah. For these 4 friends from Fort Mill, Thunder Road was their first roller coaster experience. And at the age of just 14, they wanted to come back to say goodbye.
When I was little, my mom wouldn't let me ride Afterburn because I was too small, so this is my first roller coaster. The fact that it's like the best wooden roller coaster and like it's really fun to ride.
It's just cool. A lot of memories.
And for 5-year-old Virginia Sizemore, tonight she rode Thunder Road for the first time, finally tall enough to get on. Going up the hill, what were you thinking? Were you scared? Were you nervous?
Scared.
While Virginia might have been scared to say much else, Josh Harrington, a member of the American Coaster Enthusiast Group known as ACE, had plenty to say.
It's bittersweet that it's closing, but you know, we're going to send it out with a bang. It is an old school wooden roller coaster, and it's one of the only few that actually race. So it's it's going to hurt the coaster enthusiast community and the coaster community as a whole, because there's not very many of these left in the world. The pride of knowing you were the last person to actually ride the ride, you know, it's something you can hang on to for a while.
And that's a memory the Jones family will always share. And we here in South Carolina won't forget you either.
The removal of Thunder Road roller coaster was part of a $50 million multi-year investment plan. Just ahead, we will take you on a ride to show you some of the new attractions that have opened over the years at Carowinds. You're watching our 50th anniversary coverage of Carowinds. Imagine you're a kid and you hear a theme park similar to Disneyland is being built right in your backyard. That was a reality for Jim Henderson of Charlotte, who bought the very first ticket to Carowinds 50 years ago. Here's CN2's Zane Cena with his story.
I'm here with Jim Henderson, the very first visitor here at Carowinds over 50 years ago. And Jim, could you tell me a little bit about that? I know you were a little more involved than just a visitor that day. Tell me what that day was like.
It was very wet and rainy, and I had waited about 2 months for it, about 6 months before it opened. For some reason, I don't know what got into me, I wrote a letter to a guy named Pat Hall, who was the initial developer, and I asked him if I could buy the first ticket. I do not know what possessed me to do that, but I forgot about it, and about 4 months later, I got an envelope in the mail, and it had the Carowinds logo on, and I opened it up, and it said they had decided to let me buy the first ticket, and not only that, they wanted me to be a part of the celebration that day. And my biggest memory would have been standing at the entrance to the park. There was the gold line, that's the North and South Carolina line, and there was a marching band behind me, and I got interviewed by Pat Hall. Miss North Carolina was on one side and Miss South Carolina was the other side, and I stood there in my raincoat looking bewildered and confused, and when Miss North Carolina and Miss South Carolina unattached the rope, I was able to hold it up.
How much was that first ticket you bought?
It was not even on my radar about paying for it, but I do recall it was about $8.25.
And I'm sure price is not the only thing that's changed here at Carowinds. You know, over the years, I'm not sure how many visits you've made, but what are some other things you've noticed that are just completely different from 50 years ago?
It is 50 years ago, it was a really sleepy little park. There wasn't a whole lot of excitement like this. There was a very slow train. You could ride up to the top of the tower and spin around. There was a pretty lousy little roller coaster that was just like kid style, but now this is a real first-class, nationally known amusement park. What Pat Hall did 50 years ago was so out of the ordinary. It was a real outlier. If I had thought about it when I was 11 years old, I would have been probably surprised that it actually made it. I mean, it was a real leap of faith by Pat Hall to put this on the state line. There was nothing like it for many states away. So it's just the fact that it is still here and has prospered is amazing to me, looking back 50 years.
From the first guest to the first screams, Carowinds is home to 60 rides, including 14 roller coasters, among them the Fury 325, the longest, fastest giga coaster in North America. From the Fury to the double launch roller coaster Copperhead Strike to Nighthawk, the Carolina's first flying coaster, and the Carolina Harbor Water Park, CN2 cameras were rolling as guests experienced their first thrills on some of these new attractions. This is our 50th anniversary coverage of Carowinds. Now that the park is open year-round, thousands of people come to visit. Over the years, Carowinds has added Scarowinds, turning the theme park into a playground for spooky creatures. And then, of course, there's plenty of holiday cheer during Winterfest. But when the calendar flips to those summer months, the Carolina Harbor Water Park offers guests a chance to cool down in the Carolina heat, and that is where we once again find our Lucas McFadden.
Laura Bree, I found my bathing suit. Steve Jackson is still looking for your bathing suit, right, Steve?
Yeah, they don't have my size today, so I'd have to go home and get it.
Oh, man. Well, of course, Steve Jackson is the Director of Maintenance and Construction here at Carowinds. We've already told you about the history-breaking record that Carowinds currently has. We're the only amusement park where the state line runs right through the middle of it. Also, we're the first amusement park to have a water park and a theme park attached, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. We were the first one to actually do 2 parks for one price. So you buy a season pass, you can go to either park. It's all included. It was record-breaking, ground-setting. Now most places do it that way.
So tell us about the wave pool that's behind us, because Carowinds now has 2 wave pools, but back in the day we only had 1.
We only had 1, and the original wave pool is where Seaside Splashworks is. And then we built this wave pool in 2006, and then in 2016 we built the next one. So we've got 2 wave pools here, and we've had 2 wave pools for a long time now. But it's a great place for family fun, families to come out and just enjoy themselves, the sun, each other, and just have a great time in the water.
How has the water park changed over the years from when it first opened back in 1982?
When it opened in '82, it was basically a wave pool and a kiddie pool. That was it. Now we have, we've got 2 wave pools, we've got a kiddie pool, we've got an infant pool, we've got all kinds of slide structures, play elements. We've got big slide towers, body slides, tube slides. We've got a lot more space. We've got 2 major food stands in the park. Used to, it was just, hot dogs and French fries. That was all you could get in '82 when we opened.
And it's also gone through a lot of name changes as well. Take us back to '82 and where we are today.
We've had like 3 different names to it. So
let me try my Carowinds knowledge. How about that? So Riptide Reef.
That was the first one.
Okay.
And then Bondi Beach.
Okay, you got me on that one.
And then Kookaburra Bay. Had an Australian theme. I'm going to all the different names. Sorry.
That's okay. And then of course we've landed on Carolina Harbor, which we have right now.
Right, Carolina Harbor. When we named it Carolina Harbor, we were trying to bring it from Australia back to the Carolinas, and we were really trying to focus on the history, the beach areas of the Carolinas, North and South Carolina. So Carolina Harbor just tied it all together.
And of course, it takes a lot of water to operate this water park. I can only imagine what your water bill is like.
Oh, wow. Just to give you an example, there's 400,000 gallons of water in that wave pool right there.
Just that one wave pool?
One wave pool has 400,000 gallons of water in it. It's all filtered, so it's not like it's all going down the drain. We filter it, and then we backwash. But anyway, but yeah, it's 400,000 gallons just in that one wave pool. So we basically use over 1 million gallons of water in the water park to fill everything up.
That's impressive. And of course, Carowinds setting the bar back as early as 1982 when it offered the theme park attractions in addition to the water park. Well, Carowinds definitely has changed a lot over 50 years. Again, we said goodbye to some iconic rides, but it just made way for more thrills, and it's going to be exciting to where the next 50 years takes us. Steve Jackson, thank you so much. Steve, by the way, he's been here for
39 years.
39 years, so he knows his way around this theme park, and we certainly appreciate this tour, Steve. Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here.
All right, Laura Bree, well, I'm going to keep my bathing suit on and try some of these slides, but I'm going to toss things now back to you in the studio.
What an exciting look at 50 years of fun, half a century. Carowinds is truly a place where the Carolinas come together. Thanks for watching CN2 News.